Hey YouTube land, welcome once again to another action figure review by Tycondrius. Now today we're looking at some non-Resident Evil stuff, only because I'm still trying to track down that Hunter figure for the Series 1. I'll probably get around to doing the other Resident Evil stuff in the next couple of days, hopefully. Depending and stuff like that. But today I'm going to take a step aside from one franchise and go and talk about another franchise, and it is the Predator. Now, this is the only figures from that franchise that I'm aware that that Hiya Toys have made. I don't know if they have any other plans for anything else so far. The only figures I have seen them offer up were these. We hopefully might get the Berserker, it's not the Berserker, the Assassin Predator. But so far, as it stands, the Predator Hounds from the Predator are the only figures that they've showcased so far. Now, they are slowly going through some of the other Predator movies. So one of their more recent releases was the AVP Alien vs. Predator Requiem Wolf Predator. So that did get a release. And Alien vs. Predator figures they've gone through. They've done all Predator 2 Lost Tribe stuff as well. But so far, these Predator Hounds are the only thing from this. We might get the, as I said, the Armored Assassin Predator. And once you look at the Fugitive, hopefully we might get a figure for them. I know a lot of people weren't hugely big fans of the film. And in fact, I think these dog hound designs were one of their big disappointing things. So only time will tell if we get the other sort of characters or figures from this film. But so far, they have done these, which are the Predator Hound from the Predator, which is the most recent Predator film. Now, hopefully when the new Predator film, at the time of this recording anyway at least, there is a new Predator film called Prey that is due out. Hopefully they might have a license for that, the stuff from that, and if it does well, we might see figures in this scale for this as well. So these are 1/18 scale or 3 3/4 inch scale figures. They're designed to scale with Predator's figures from that lineup. So if I bring in my tape measure, which is off to the side here, they aren't particularly big, these figures. So from snout to tail, they're about 3.5 inches, and they roughly stand to the highest point about 2 1/4 inches. They're not overly tall figures. They are mildly articulated, so we will have a quick look at the articulation. So they are pretty much, their heads are on a ball joint. So you have some side to side, you can rotate up and down. So one has an open mouth, the other is closed mouth. In fact, if I remember correctly, in the movie there was only one of these, I think. Or was there more than one? I'm trying to remember if there was more than one. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I know, actually, I think there's more than one, and one of them ends up becoming a pet for the hero characters. Bit of a spoiler, but it's the movie's been out quite a while. But it kind of, there is more than one. They have this weird Predator style head, and I think that's what threw most people on this overall design. They weren't a big fan of the actual hound having the same sort of ridge and dreadlocks that the Predators have, because the previous film, the other one that had Predator hounds in it, which was Predators, gave us these really cool gnarly designs, which I think I did a review for already. If not, I will have to backtrack and do a review for these. So these are the Predator Hounds from the previous iteration of having a Predator Hound, and you can see they're a lot more nasty, mean looking and spiky. Now scale wise, what is interesting is they are way smaller than the newer one. So if I put the two new ones in the center here, just angle down a bit. I'll just take my tape measure out of the way. And angle down a touch. Sorry. You can see how small the older versions look to these. Now the older versions did have articulation points as well, pretty much very similar articulation. So if I move them out to the side, we'll just grab the closed mouth ones so you can see the detailing. They are nicely painted. They have kind of a grey base coat, and then they have this kind of airbrushing with spots and stuff on them. They are quite detailed. They're not just left to be fairly flat. They have no peg holes on their feet, but their feet can move forward and back. So the front legs move forward and back, and the back legs move forward and back. The heads, as I said, are on a ball joint. They have kind of a reptilian scaling, armoring kind of going on. So there is that. Now these guys are part of the armored assassins menagerie, is the best way to describe them. So hence why they probably are bigger than the other hounds, because they'll probably scale a bit better to them if they do a release of the figure. So if you want to see a predator figure, unfortunately the only predator, I don't have my tracker predator, which is the one that the other hounds use as their master. This is just the regular, well, it's the second edition version of the Jungle Hunter. And for those of you who have the first edition of Jungle Hunter and didn't bother picking up the newer version, I have the old one there as well, just to show the scales side by side. So they are pretty big hounds compared to the other ones, as I said. The other ones look way more dinky compared to them. And then for some humanized human characters, I'm just gonna move these guys off to the background. Hopefully they won't fall over, knocking down everything. So for kind of human scale characters, I have one of the mercenaries from the Jurassic Park line, or sorry, the Jurassic World. Well, it's not Dominion, but they're reusing the sculpts for Dominion, the Jurassic World line. Unfortunately, I seem to not have any other kind of scale figures at hand. Well, actually, I might be able to get something. Bear with me a tick. Alright, so I have some core figures. These are the Star Trooper figures that reuse the core, base core figures. I have one of the kind of Alien Collection figures, the human characters. And I have one of the Eagle Force figures, which I still haven't done the review for yet. I will get around to doing that review. And you can see the scaling across the board for those. So there is a bit of different scaling for those figures. Overall, not too bad. It really depends on whether you like the design of the creatures or not. I actually didn't mind the design too bad. I just thought the CGI for the creature design looked a bit off compared to that of the Assassin Predator and the Fugitive. The CGI for the dog looked kind of, it looked unfinished. Probably be the best way to describe it. Actually, I have one more 2¼ inch figure, which is in the realm of a galaxy far, far away, which is the Bib Fortuna, the Return of the Jedi version, not the one from Book of Boba Fett or the Mandalorian, whichever way you want to bring them into the lore. So you can see the scale for a Star Wars figure as well, just in case you want to bring these to have a Star Wars theme. Actually, to be honest, these things wouldn't look too bad next to Jabba's throne. If you have the old Return of the Jedi throne set with Jabba and his cronies, these things beside them wouldn't look too out of place. So there is that if you wanted to do that. These ones, however, might look a little bit more out of place because they're a bit more spiky. These ones look more like guard dogs. But overall, it is what it is. So they're not bad figures, and they don't have the same amount of articulation as the main Hiya Toys figures, like these ones. So like, you don't have double jointed elbows, you don't have double jointed knees or anything. They're just a flat sculpt. So there is that. But overall, they don't need to be too over articulated as long as the heads can move. The one thing I think would have been a real plus to them if they had articulating jaws. Neither of the hounds have that. Only the, like, even the older ones don't have that. They have like one's open mouth, one's slightly less closed, or one's slightly less open. So you're not missing out much, but it is nice that they give you the two variations of the heads, but it would have been nicer if they were articulating jaws. So maybe somewhere down the line, if they revisit these figures or if they redo these again, like NECA tends to do with a lot of the Predators, they're kind of going backtracking and re-releasing the Predator 2 Lost Tribe stuff with updated articulation and some never before seen kind of gear for them. Hopefully they might do something similar with the Predator line. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this quick video review. I said to keep it quick and short, and as always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, guys.